Wow. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Lover Show as we dangle on 66,000. Let's put the lemon into the water and remind ourselves that we have one life to live. Soon, I will be 50 years old. I am 41. It will go by like this. I'm telling you right now, I was just 25 years old. I was just sitting here the other day and realizing, man, my life will go by so fast. Every single day is a blessing. I should always sit back and realize, man, this is a moment I have. And, you know, the market gets you stressed. Time gets you stressed. All you can think about is the coins, the market. I'm telling you, it's consuming. You step back and realize you have missed so much of your actual life. So we always have to find a balance. I'm telling you right now, let's take a big sip of the lemon water. Let's stay grounded. Let's stay focused. And let's still break down Bitcoin and see what's happening every single day. Blessings on each and every one of you for being here. Let's bring back that music. Let's run it up. Like, yeah. All right, let's get into the day here. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate your awesome viewership. 66,000 for Bitcoin on BOOKMAP. BOOKMAP suggests that we go lower all the way back to 64.9 and break that weekly support or resistance yet again and play games around 64,800. We have a little bit of liquidity hanging out at 66.9, but so far, no go for BTC. Let's break it down. Last night I went long. We actually got a nice move up to 60, to 70, almost to 67,000. But that was about all we would get. I was looking at AIDOGE. I'm in AIDOGE since very early. I got in this coin just as a joke, thinking it was hilarious. You know, AI and the word Doge. That was it for me. You know, I'm not trying to be a genius here at all. But it looks like a nice kind of cup and handle is coming back down. It's interesting. And again, it could probably go to absolute zero. You know, I put what I was very willing to lose, and just I didn't even know I would show AIDOGE, and I'm kind of just want to sweep it back onto the rug there. Anyway, so let's break down. But that's just the truth when it comes to AIDOGE. I don't know anyone in it. I don't know the community. I'm not part of I don't know anything about the thing. I'm not like going to the Twitter every day. I don't know. You know what I mean? It was just a one-off. So here we go for BTC. All right. This morning, last night I went long in this double bottom. Nice double bottom, right? Came up, but could not. This is the key. The 4-hour would not let us break the 200. And this is the key. If we can't break the 200 on the 4-hour, we cannot go to the upside. That's it. This is my key. Like, if we got above this, boom, I'm tripling down, double down. Like, let's go, baby, let's go. And now the 8-hour is holding us down. But if the 8-hour decides it's ever going to lose this 200, we're going to be in for some more pain. I just want to make that really clear. And we're going to break all this down for you and show you what's actually likely going to happen for Bitcoin on a daily basis. Let's jump on into the weekly and have some fun like we do every single day. So again, I'm stuck on 65.5. I'm a broken record. You'll see why 6 months from now, it'll all make sense why. Right now, you might just be like, this guy's annoying. 65,500 for Bitcoin, right? Can we stay above that key level and close a weekly candle? That's all Sammy Miami needs. That's all we want. Sammy, Sarasota, whatever you want to say. We just got to get back above 65.5. If we can do that, man, we can be in the money for BTC. So I like this candle so far. I like this bullish hammer right now on the weekly. That's a known reversal pattern. It depends. We want to see this candle close above this wick. For me personally, on the week, we have 4 days and 10 hours to do so. 66,000, a lot. Look, as you can see, these weeks have been volatile. A lot can happen in a week. We will see. This is a swing failure. Kind of a swing failure pattern there, technically, and you know, but I keep it support and resistance one step at a time. We got this key level there at about 59.60K that is held on a wick. Previous resistance, interesting enough, right? There was just enough buy orders in that area and enough people FOMOing into Bitcoin. They're just like, I have to get it. If I don't get it now, when will I get it? I have to get it. And so they're scrambling. You know, people scramble when the price dips and they panic sell. People scramble, panic buy into the, you know, you have to remember how many people were told we were going to 10K. And right here, they're like, oh yeah, it'll go lower. This is just a dead cat bounce. There was people with giant communities saying this was bearish and we weren't going anywhere. Then there was everyone drawing this thing. This worked in our favor. And they were all shorting this, saying we were in a bear flag. And that's when I flipped on the 5-day moving averages, and I told everybody here that as long as we stayed above this yellow line, that all of that was nonsense. Another thing that I did is we flipped on the 3-day, and we found hidden bullish divergence on the 3-day chart. And it told us if we stayed true that we would break this high before this low, and that's 90% of the time. And so just knowing that the moving averages and knowing hidden bullish divergence has gotten me through some of the toughest times in my trading career. When most people were like this here, when I basically screamed this was the bottom on multiple people's channels. I was on the day show on Bitcoin, one of the biggest day shows at the time. And I was saying, hey, this is your bottom. Sin City Crypto said this is the bottom. I was on with Forrest. We both agreed it was 90%. We were feeling a bottom, right? We had the whole world. I don't know if you remember, but we had all the bears saying this was a head and shoulder, and we were going to the downside. You know, 14K, 12K. They said 10K. They said 3K, some of them. 10K still on the board for some of these people. We're going to 10K. And maybe we do. I'm open-minded that anything can happen. Well, let's say that let's let the TA get us there. Like, for us to get to 10K, like, I'm not saying we can't get to these levels, but let's, you know what I mean? Like, the 3-day never lost to 200. So how could we have gotten to 10K? You know, there's just key ideas here that I'm going to help you, and I'm just showing you how this channel got us through some of the toughest times. And right now, it's one of those indecision times where people are just like, we just had a halving. They're printing money out of basically to smithereens. And you have one of the scarcest assets in the world, so it's okay. I'm taking a deep breath one day at a time, all right? So oversold here on the 3-day chart. And again, what we've been saying is there is that hidden bullish again on the 3-day chart. Even if you wanted to extend this here like that, but that's your swing low to swing low uptrend. Some say, well, no, this was the divergences and it played out already. I'm okay with that, but I've been back testing these types of divergences for years because divergences are funny. They come in all different ways, shapes, and sizes, and you have to kind of figure them out in so many ways, right? And there's Bitcoin taking a nice little dump to the downside here, losing the 200 on the 15, right? And we're going to show you that in a second too. But look, and now 3-day chart got tweezer tops, which is bearish. Could be bearish if we close that 3-day candle, but we got 2 days and 10 hours. But, that's not what you want to see. You don't want to see tweezer tops on the 3-day. I don't, for sure, Not unless you're a bear. May have to be a short here on the daily. We have to be open-minded, but, rising wedges can break down 68% of the time. Is this wedge wanting to break down here for Bitcoin, right? Kind of like that inverted cup and handle we talked about the other day, just experimentally. So a bounce from the bottom of the range made sense, right? VRVP has the liquidity right here, right? You got to get through this big zone, right? And it's kind of resistance. That level is going to be 63,800, 68,300. Sorry, my dyslexia. 68,300, right? And and you can see that we have, a bounce area. You can also give it like a zone. Sometimes I put like a big zone in there and just say, this is like the key area you got to get. You flip that again. At the same time, you're still back at the top of the range. Could you come to the bottom of the range? Very well, could be. All right. So Bitcoin, like, you know what I'm saying, is definitely in chop. I'm not saying it's harder to predict. It's more, it's movement. It's very volatile. And with like a lack of volume, it's somewhat sideways. 4-hour didn't look too good if it could not get back above the 200 though. So to me, like, things make 100% sense because you have to break that 200. And that's what we've been waiting for that. And look, you kind of made an M pattern here on the 4-hour time frame now. That's likely want to break back down and you try to get above this high volume node. You got a gap here, which you're kind of starting to fall into. And you have stochastics and RSI telling a story. And just beginning a bearish cross possibly for the MACD. So we could be looking for a higher low here for Bitcoin. If you break this low, then you're looking for a bearish retest. And then we're looking for more downside. So we're not on the water yet for this possible move to 53,000. Like, it could still occur. It could really, you know what I mean? I just want to make that clear. Like, I'm open-minded to anything. All right. And so a nice short could be in order too for some massive gains. Falling wedge to the downside, bouncing right off about 60,500, right? Can you double bottom is another like thought. And again, it's not all bad. We'll look at the smaller time frames, but right now you can see that we're bleeding pretty 65.8 and coming right back down to 65.5. And 65.5, once I flip below that, it's just like, because then it's, the next level is 60K again. And we play this game of cat and mouse inside the range, And as the range goes down, each low is lower because it's a fall, it's kind of a falling wedge in a way, right? I mean, it has a falling downward trending bottom. So 3-day hidden bullish still in effect, in my humble opinion, but the 4-hour definitely says, hey, I need to reset a little bit here to the downside, right? And so the 4-hour's been kind of the one time where it stayed up here for way too long. It was overbought. Even had an indicator here giving us the bearish div and unable to get back above the 200 SMA. To me, it was bearish, right? I waited on this. If you can't get above it, it's like, to me, I know that's bearish. Once you flip it, oh man, we could get the biggest move to the upside, but not happening. And look, kind of a shoulder, a head and a right shoulder in a way, even though it's not perfect. So today I was trading this here, or last night, we got a beautiful pump to the upside. Trade was in the money, came back down, kind of bearishly retested this, and then, getting a drop to the downside. So, and honestly, Bitcoin has been a mess. You know what I mean? Just chopping for days. Beautiful reversal we got here, which was a long-term hold and a buy above the 200 SMA producing. But if you can't, you know what I mean? You got to stay above the 200 now on the 1 hour. You break this 1 hour 200, that's going to be a movement to the downside. Like, it's just going to spell that you're going to have to come test at least the bottom of the node, 61.9, 60K. So, wow, it's falling fast. All the way to 65.5. Like, this was just a massive dump. Look at that. Bear flagging to the downside. And again, I mean, the same signal there, right? When you lose the 200 on the 1 minute, it's so insane. And once we lost the 200 on the 1 minute, right here at the high volume node at 66.4, boom. Just a collapse to the downside. Measured move of the length of the pole. Okay. And now we're back to that same idea. This looks like a Monday. And look, this even resembles a head and shoulder. It's a mess, but you can see it's just, and you lose this point of control going down to the volume area low. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, that's what happens on a bigger scale. You could take this and maximize this to a bigger move, Now you can see a short liquidation there immediately, right back the other way, but not a lot. And again, BOOKMAP did have more liquidity to the downside than to the upside, to be fair, right? It did show us that there was more liquidity down here at the beginning of the show. And so it's like, don't mess with BOOKMAP. BOOKMAP will tell you. And then you see 65,000 has a key level to look at too. Link in the description below to BOOKMAP if you want to jump on in. We appreciate that. And also, if you have questions about your taxes, you're not sure what's happening, you're like, what did I do? Or you want to amend your taxes. Maybe you just want to start a new relationship with a new tax attorney or, a CPA. Jump on into decrypted.tax right here. Okay. I personally use decrypted.tax, and my man Ernest has done a bunch of things for me as an attorney. So I personally use them, to do things such as LLCs and more. But that's completely up to you if you want to use him. He does support the channel and sponsor the channel, so we appreciate that. Decrypted.tax. Okay. Wow, so nasty dump for Bitcoin on the 1 minute time frame. Man. Just boom, right? And everyone's like, what's the news? What's the reason? Honestly, I just go for moving averages. Like, we didn't hold key levels. Like, that 4 hour needed to get back above the 200 for me to remain bullish. Like, it could not do that. Right? So now we don't want to, now that's when I start looking at that 8 hour 200. You can see we're getting pretty close to it and we're playing games again. This level loses, it's back to the drawing board again for me, looking at that 10 hour, the 22 hour, right? And you're starting to say, hey, and then we need that key, we need this trend line to hold, and we're pulling the fib again. And I'm right back into, basically into emergency mode here, that we could come back down to this golden pocket, even possibly test 42,000. So like, once, and I don't want to be the bear. I don't want to be like, oh, this is exactly what's going to happen. But like, look at the 22 hour time frame now, looking pretty bearish, right? Wanting to come to the downside too. So again, today, if the 1 hour did its thing and got a pump, and we were able to break that 200 on the 4 hour, it would have flipped. It could have flipped the, you know what I mean? Things would have changed. But those moving averages are just pretty amazing, right? Now, if I look at this and I flip it upside down too, tight moving averages, do we come and contend with the 200 SMA again, right? Rounded, we're kind of starting to make a rounded top, which is bearish to me too as well. Rounded tops and rounded bottoms are not, it's just not a thing, not a cool thing, in my humble opinion, right? That looks like Wyckoff distribution from my old days of looking at it, you know what I mean? Springs and just, so interesting. Looks like we could be in for a little more downside, at least to test this 200 SMA. Now we break that, then you're looking possibly to this high volume node, and you can see there's gaps in the VRVP. There's not a lot of places to stop where there's a bunch of key levels of liquidity. So you just got to remind yourself of that. So I don't mean to like freak anybody out. I just got to tell you the truth here for Bitcoin. All right. Let's take a look at our 1 minute time frame as we begin to continuously fall to the downside on a massive dump for BTC this morning. And I was telling my trading group right here, if you just look at my update this morning, and I was showing them what I see happening for Bitcoin. And this is why I think a trading group is awesome, because like if I was in a trading group, I'd have no idea what was going on, but I'd be able to get at least some insight into what's happening. What's crazy is we finally had big inflows for Bitcoin, which we're going to talk about too. So there was some bullish news today and yesterday for BTC. But I was saying, looking for the 15-minute to bounce. We do not desire to break the 200 MA. This can create a dump, right? So you don't want to see the 15-minute lose that 200 SMA and start to break to the downside, right? And I put it out before the dump, obviously, see, right? And so we were above it. Things were okay. But the second we lost it, we started a massive dump to the downside. And let's just kind of talk about why I could see that we were going to get a dump if this occurred. Well, we'll just show you what I mean here. All right. Just checking on everybody on the stream. How's everybody doing? God bless is the audio going well? Video. Do we need the music up a little bit more? And let me jump on into the chat in a second. I'm just consumed by this dump by Bitcoin to the downside. All right. Good morning, lifers. Hope y'all having a blessed day. Thank you for being here. Hey, Sammy and family, how are you? Thank you. God bless you, Shitoshi Love, man. God bless you and yours, my friend. And we're going to take a look at your super chats. And if anyone did send a super chat, let's take a look at this live. Music up, baby. Audio wonderful. Shout out to Rave Song Records in the house. Good, Sam. Been a good watcher and learning. Shout out to Stephanie Gameros. Cool, man. That's pretty cool, Stephanie. Thank you. Shout out to Tillin Lepar. Shout out to Jordan. Shout out to Rooster. Shout out to Crypto Bellico. Robert Vermouth. I love when you play house music. House music is the best. This is kind of a mix of deep. This is what's called deep house right now. Technically, that's what they call it. But so look, the 15-minute loses the 200. Massive dump to the downside. How did I know that? Because I've just seen it so many times. However, there's a chance we held it and we pumped to the upside. You know what I mean? There's no guarantees. That's why I play it the way I play it. And then look, the gap in the VRVP says, look, you can see where you're going. So you lose the 200, you close a gap. Just kind of what happens. All right. There was even a fair value gap there too that hadn't been closed by these two candles there, which we're coming into, which is pretty interesting. And it's even represented by this high volume node sticking out pretty much, which is, right in that, right here sticking out too. Look, you can see that. And you could just see the gap. It's where these two candles did not meet, right? But you can see how the high volume node hits the gap, right? You see that? I just want to show you the dualities of the VRVP mixed in, right? And, losing 65.5 is like, blase from it's just dang, it's like we went all the way to 67.2. Looked like we may get some momentum here, and then just boom, still getting a move to the downside here. Miners could be somewhat capitulating too, so it could be some miners selling off. There's all sorts of things going on here for Bitcoin. Grayscale still having to dump Bitcoin too as well, which we're going to discuss today and show you, like, why is Grayscale dumping? How much do they have to dump? How much more do they have to dump? Right? So right here to the trading group, and this was on Twitter too as well, but, I like to just post everything I can for you. On April 23rd, U.S. spot Bitcoin experienced a significant 31.64 million net inflow. Marked the third consecutive day of net inflows. BlackRock ETFs led the charge with the highest daily net inflow, while Grayscale ETFs saw a notable outflow of 66.88 million. This event brought the total net inflow to all of Bitcoin to 12.2 billion, with a daily net inflow of 32 million on the same day. Despite Grayscale's outflows, Bitcoin ETFs remain active in participants in the market, holding 4.24% of Bitcoin supply, totaling 836,000 Bitcoin, worth $55.6 billion. The inflow highlights a growing interest in investment in Bitcoin through exchange-traded funds. GBTC held 46% of all Bitcoin held in ETFs a month ago. Today it's 36%. The market needs their selling to sustain prices under 100K. Soon enough, GBTC will pull the leak and stop the outflows. If not, they simply run out of Bitcoin to sell. Just need to get GBTC out of the way, these corny buggers. So it's just, you know what I mean? It is a battle of net flows to inflows. Here's the longest daily inflow streak ever from Bitcoin Archive on Twitter. Shout out to them for doing this. And you can see Bitcoin equity 71 days had inflows for 71 days in a row, which puts it in the top 10 all-time in history of ETFs, which is pretty crazy. 160 days all-time is the record there. Pretty interesting. All right. So, still selling pressure for Bitcoin. Look at this massive dump city for BTC. And now you're looking at, can we get some type of divergence on the 1 minute for a reversal after they scoop it up? Anywhere down near these areas is a must grab for BTC. 65,000, 60,000. So, but man, they're not letting up. And you can see, look at that, shoulder, head, and right shoulder, a double top M pattern, losing the point of control, and then losing the 200 MA. Right here, whenever the 1 minute loses, I'm just saying, the 1 minute is, people don't realize, they think the 1 minute is treachery and doesn't show you anything. The 1 minute almost controls the entire show. The more I use the 1 minute, the more I realize it tells you everything that's likely going to happen in the market when you lose those 200s on the 1 minute time frame. Treachery is a due. So if you just trade them like it's going to happen every time, you won't be right every time, but you'll catch most of the biggest moves and most of the smaller moves. There's a little bit of a divergence there for Bitcoin. Not amazing, right? And so what you're looking for is, does it continue to the downside? Does it attempt to make a reversal pattern? Or do we just make another, bearer flag that wants to continue further to the downside? Like, how do we continue this freight train here? You can flip it upside down and look at, if I was going to trade this bullishly, how would I trade it bullishly, right? That gives you kind of the freedom to be able to see, this thing may actually take a bigger tumble here to the downside. 63,500 for Bitcoin. And I don't want to be, I'm just showing you what could possibly happen. And then, just smaller. So these are the two next levels that I see possibly coming for Bitcoin, right? The key is to stay calm, cool, and collected in these dumps. But look, BOOKMAP told us there was likely going to be a pullback, and we had lost the 200 MA on the 15. I even told you guys, my students, I said, look, looking for the 15-minute to bounce. We do not desire to see it break the 200. This can create a dump. All right. And next thing you know, we were in dump city when we lost that 200, right? And then where do you free fall? I mean, usually to your next support or resistance levels, 65.3, you can see right there was my next support. And lo and behold, we're there and below. So now you want to see, can you get the reversal? Like, do they go right after the shorts now for the V-shaped recovery? You catch the falling knife on the divergence, slight divergence on the 1 minute. It's not strong enough, in my humble opinion, but it's there. It definitely was a liquidation event if we take a look. Massive liquidations right there. These are actual liquidations. You see? On the board. That's that divergence that you see. You want to make sure you're watching BOOKMAP. Whenever I see a strong divergence, there must be liquidations involved. And that's what I learned, is the divergence is the liquidation. That's exactly what's happening. They go tandem. They go together. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. Mew is on Solana. Cats in a dog's world. Mute. Love this guy. Thank you for the solid TA as well as a solid attitude on life as well. Bless you, brother, in the name of King Jesus. Shout out to Steve Pinnell, man. We love you. We hope you're having a wonderful day. And while I bring in the price action, yeah. I mean, this is great volatility. This is great volatility for the market. You know, you could just trade that 1 minute, 200 back and forth. So if you lost today, you're struggling today, take a deep breath, get a demo account, join me, start trading with me, join the trading group, take a deep breath, everything's going to be fine. You know what I mean? And you don't even have to join the trading group, just show up every day for free. Like, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. I'm just giving you more options. If you get something out of me, people like more. I've always learned that. If you don't give them more, then why not? You know, you go to the store, the guy makes pizza. You're like, well, do you also make pasta? He's like, I don't, but maybe I should, right? Next thing you know, he's got a restaurant, but he started with a pizza place. It just stuff like that happens. That's how businesses work. So if you want to jump on in today and get financial freedom or learn, just educate yourself, how to push yourself to the limit, how to learn. You know, we have learning libraries and comprehensive educational resources, mentorship and analysis direct from me every single day. Member rooms, you share ideas, weekly coaching every single week on Thursday. We sit together, go over the portfolio, talk about what's happening, and break down the markets, right? So if that's something that excites you, go to cryptolifer.com and check it out today. We greatly appreciate that. Probably another, Punky is going to overtake Bonk. There's a lot of Punky fans out there who love their Punky. You know, Gala looks interesting to me. I own Gala, right? Huge pump to the upside, really beautiful. Hit resistance, came back down the train. But, it, you know, anywhere in this 786, 886, like those are just, to me, just very, like it doesn't much, you don't get much sold off much harder than that. And we already did bounce off the 786 for Gala, and it's very oversold on the 2-day chart. Just looks very interesting to me, above the moving averages. Could have another pullback. I'm not saying it can't, but it just looks, you know, like it's starting to build a higher low here. And again, this looks like Chainlink long term, you know, when like just any other big coin that I've seen, when it just starts to kind of make an accumulation. And you'll just get this like, you know, long, and then eventually it might take 2-3 months. You know, I'm not saying it's tomorrow, but eventually that thing's going to get lit, you know. HBAR pumping to the upside hard. And I guess it wasn't working directly. It was working with companies that then do work. So it was kind of like some news and then some no news. You get it? Let me just clarify this for you as well. I clarified it for my trading group. Another key thing that you want to learn, right? And again, always quote your sources, even me, you know what I mean? In case I might be wrong, but I try to not talk about something unless I have at least the skinny on it. So initially, Hedera's foundation post led many to believe BlackRock was directly tokenized in its ICS treasury fund on the Hedera network, which caused the HBAR price to jump. However, it was later clarified that BlackRock was not involved in the tokenization itself. Rather, the companies Arcax and Onera were responsible for the tokenization using Hedera network, leading to a price correction. So it seemed to be a bit of a, you know, however, it still created a big buzz for Hedera. It got it really to break above some key levels. And so, you know, it's not all smoke and mirrors. It's a good thing for Hedera, and it does put them in the limelight. But it was also, you know, a very strange, superficial pump. And the markets are in a weird place, man. Even, I'll tell you, even the TA is funny. Like everyone, like 90% of coins are in this funky, like really strange, you know, that's kind of a downward pattern. I mean, you have your high, and now you're making lower highs, right? Luckily, Hedera did just break this to the upside. Like, can it hold? You know what I mean? So you would like Hedera to at least hold. See this big chunky node? Somewhere in here in this high volume node. Like 10 cents, 11 cents. So you're looking for a pullback of some type. You know, I don't trade the 2 hour as much as I'd like, but I like the 2 hour. As one of my buddies called it, it's smooth. You know, some time frames are just smooth. The 2 hour, the 12 hour, the 8 hour, they tend to be smooth. We need to cross 85 to go to 105. Yeah, don't worry, man. All good. Hope you're having an awesome day. Shout out to FUD Expert. HBAR is the network and getting work. It's the beginning of a successful relationship. HBAR can only go up from here. I mean, anything can happen. The worst thing I've ever heard is saying that HBAR can only go up. You know what I mean? So a stronger divergence has been put in place here by the 1 minute now. Like that's what you want to see. You want to see this direct move up on the RSI with this flatter move here. All right. I'm not saying we're out the water, but that's usually where the plug, you kind of come. Look at that pump right off the divergence as I said it. Right? Not amazing. We'll still build this idea here, but like that could V-shaped recovery. The way that thing is moving back to 65,000. Right? And again, for me, it's about buying the fear, right? Shout out to MEXC, 0.01 spot maker and taker fee, 0.0% future fee, and 0% taker fee, 0.2%. Lowest fees of any exchange I've ever seen. So if it's applicable in your area, wherever you are around the world, there's people from all around the world here. Jump on into MEXC. I'm telling you right now. I do have a link here if you want to check them out right here in the pinned comment section. MEXC is amazing. Absolutely blows my mind the fact that they continue to do so. Again, most of your funds, keep them on a hardware wallet. I do say this all the time. Very, very important that we're doing that. And I'm going to continue to stack BTC, right? Buy myself, let's say $600 more worth of Bitcoin. Not a lot, but enough. I'll just keep buying it every single day, couple of days, 500 here. So it adds up over time. Next thing you know, you do have yourself a BTC. You don't know how you did it, but you did it. All right. And just make that balance 3 even. Whenever there's some change in the trunk, I throw it into BTC, right? So look, beautiful bullish div there that we saw on the 1 minute. We did get a bounce to the upside. Bitcoin got a nice little move. All right. Maybe it makes a shoulder. So now what you're looking for is like, does it make a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder? And they're, turtle soup in it right here. All right. And look, now they're going after the shorts. They got liquidity all the way back to 66,000. Still a lot of red area here, but they dipped into it. Still, hey, they may not be done though. There's still liquidity all the way to 64,000. Look there's a lot of red areas, but they did dip down. And they ate into that liquidity. And now they're flipping back to 65. Look how fast they're flipping the price back to the upside here for BTC. Crazy, right? This is a false move Monday. And again, if you don't know how to trade, you're probably, you know how many people got liquidated both ways? Now look, these are short liquidations getting liquidated. It's you know what I mean? So I always trade with a stop loss, put what I'm going to lose. But look, that's a beautiful bullish div that we caught on the 1 minute. Can you get the reversal? Now you get back through the gap. Can you pump all the way? You could pump all the way back to 66,100 faster than you realize. This could be what's called a V-shaped recovery where the price action just immediately returns back to its higher, still was the bear flag here, still lost 200 SMAs. I'm still not saying this is the most bullish thing in the world. I'm just showing you, it's attempting to kind of win its way back to the upside here. Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. My name's Sam Price. Appreciate you, the Crypto Lifer. And thank you so much for jumping on in. 1,787 people here on the live. Let's get the likes up to the watchers. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for jumping on in. And if I can't buy red days, when can I buy for Bitcoin, Crazy thing that happened this morning. Woke up with this, didn't realize, but this lens had popped out. And this glass has a really thin piece of just like plastic. It's like, it's like almost indestructible, like feels like a piece of plastic, but it's some type of like, who knows, like fiberglass maybe. Who knows what it is. And you have to pop this in and then swing it down. And so I'm sitting there like trying to get to the show, like playing with my glasses. But we got it done. It happened. But it was intense, I always feel like I'm in a movie when like something like that happens and I'm like fumbling around. Whenever I work out really hard and I'm trying to put my shirt on, I feel like Gumby. I can barely button my shirts. You ever work out so hard and you can't your arms feel like Gumby? Anyway, You don't care. I'm just telling you, that was my morning, all right? So look, you have the low, you have the high. Now you just need the higher low. Bit of that cup and handle status, right? And that's why we sit on these smaller time frames to watch what's happening here for Bitcoin, all right? And, you know, we look to find the reversal on a daily basis. And it doesn't mean we're out of the water yet. There could be some more downside here for Bitcoin. What we don't want is to lose. Let's go. And then while I'm doing this, I'm always checking that 8-hour 200. And look, what do we bounce off of right now so far? What was it? Can people write it down in the comments? Where did we just bounce? Where did we bounce? Hold on, I'm going to wait for the comments that you guys are going to say. It's like the guy who just, where did we just bounce? And where did we just bounce, everybody? Avid Mexi, okay, why is Bitcoin dipping? Is 8-hour SMA holds, we're bullish, but if we lose, we're bearish. So keep an eye on the charts. Do not trade leverage unless it's a very small amount. Bang. $200 MA. 8-hour 200 MA. Look at them all nailing it. Everybody on point. And again, like, is that a coincidence? You know what I'm saying? I've been talking about it every day ever since back here, since we started coming to it. And it's very interesting how it keeps playing a role here on a daily basis. All right. So we've gotten the divergence bump. We got and then they just went after as many shorts as they could. They were a little too close to the bone. So if you're 100x, you just got taken out. And you have to remember, people blame the exchange for, high leverage creates a very small window of opportunity. All right. That's never been my thing. If you want to do high leverage, there's people that can show you, their way of doing it. And again, I've always used what I was willing to lose. You know what I mean? And I've never gone too crazy. Some of the things I see, even my buddies that are traders do, I look at the option. I'm like, wow, they would have lost $5,000 if the price went down $150. And they have this huge win. And I'm like, the win's great. I love it. But like, I'm not willing to do that. Like, that's not where, you know what I mean? I don't want to lose. I don't want to risk $5,000 if Bitcoin moves at $100. Like, it's just not that's not my appetite for risk. All right. Like, I help myself build slowly and surely, one step at a time. And that's the key, right? The key is to maintain what you have, not to continue, not to put it in jeopardy. Like, once you get out of the rat race, you want to stay out of the rat race for the rest of your life, if possible. All right. Remember, me and my trading group, we went through the barest of times. We went to the depths, the downward depths of just ridiculousness. You know what I mean? And we're still here somehow, some way. Still here. Still fighting, still around, still alive. Still finding ways to win on a daily basis. Still finding new coins. Still finding new opportunity. Still learning how to trade different ways and different scenarios. All right. So I'm just making sense of what I'm seeing here for Bitcoin. Key idea here is that you bounced, like wherever you've bounced, you got to get back above, right? So, wow. I never know when I'm going to be on the 1 minute dissecting Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? It just, it's crazy. Please check with Dan Pena Scholar. That class that would make most cry. Okay. What's the best MA indicator? Anyone bullish on Elon's pet fish? I don't know. Yeah, Dan Pena's the man, dude. He is. He is. I mean, this looks bearish to me, right? So here's my level. Like, so bounce. Like, I even make it small with the J. Bounce, resistance. So, like, you've got to flip 65, 250 to remain bullish. Thank you for everything you taught me so far, man. Shout out to my man. Thank you so much for that. $1.99 super chat. God bless you, brother. Appreciate that. Very nice of you. Skyther KB, thank you. And we have our final doctor's appointment with the baby today. Here in Massachusetts. So today I have to go, not I have to, but I'm excited to take my wife to the doctor's office and, just make sure everything's healthy. My wife is pregnant right now, just so everybody knows. Very interesting time in my life. I moved to Florida this week, and it's pretty crazy. So I'll tell you when I get there. I don't even want to disclose. I just want to arrive, and you guys are back. There he is, right? But so there's just a lot going on in my life. My house is full of boxes. It's insanity. All right, so here's a low. There's the high. There's a higher low here for Bitcoin on the 1 minute time frame. Can it hold this higher low? Like, this is the question. There's the kind of the cup and handle. You can pull this Fibonacci. See, we're like bouncing pretty close to that 786 fib. Right off of it, if you use the candle wick, the candle bodies of just that impulse. But it's not amazing, right? So, and price action has been very, 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 I'll be honest, it's been interesting to say the least. Slow at times. Like yesterday, we were sideways for hours. You know what I mean? On a Tuesday too, which usually, you know what I mean? You get more price action. Heading into May, there can be a slowdown in the markets May into June. But depending on, after a halving, we usually see some things pick up pretty hard. So the thing is, it catches you off guard. These markets next thing you know, things are pumping and you weren't there. Yeah. So I'm always here DCAing when no one's paying attention, because that's what has always paid me very well to pay attention to. All right. So like, we want to see this break out. We really want to break above this. See, we break above this yellow line, because that's the previous bounce, which is our next resistance. We can just begin to build some type of an idea that we may be able to break out of here, right? Look, this all started when we found the divergence on the 1 minute, right? And then we saw that spike up. And it's not easy to buy these levels, right? This could be a reversal, like catching the falling knife there. But only, we really got to get above this, So it's all about right now, one step at a time, 65 to 50. You got to take trading literally one step at a time, just like your life. One present moment after one present moment. That's how you do it, in my humble opinion. If you were to try to live your whole life at once, right, it would be impossible. Think about everything just like your life. You can't live every day at once. You have to live each day. And then you can't live your whole day at once. You got to live each hour. And you can't live your whole hour at once. You got to live each second, each minute. It can be overwhelming when you think about it, but just take a deep breath and realize that all you have is the moment that you're in. That's it. All you have is the present moment in time that you are in right now, right here with me, or wherever you want to be. And that's why I'm so blessed that this many people want to share their present moment in time with me. That's what I'm ecstatic about. But there's your low, there's your higher high, there's your higher low. Can you put in the higher high here for Bitcoin? Can we start to dig our way up out of here? All right. Did we find the daily reversal? This is what I'm keen on doing. There we go. So far, that flag has played out to the upside. Would have been a nice little flag. 30-second chart had the low stochastic in the flag. Cup in handy. 786 Fibonacci retracement. And now, remember, nothing happens until you break basically the 1 minute 200 now. When you break that, then maybe something can happen. Until then, you're on your way to it and either getting rejected to it or never getting there. Okay? And this is the world we live in, and you have to understand this now, how important the 200 now is on the 1 minute time frame. You're now stuck by it. You can deny it all you want. You can act like it doesn't matter. But if you don't get above it, you're not going anywhere. So why not understand that that is a gateway to the next level? And look, I mean, this could be far-fetched, but like kind of a shoulder ahead and a right shoulder. Doesn't look amazing for Bitcoin, in my humblest of opinions, if you're a bull at the present day moment. And I just got to tell it how it is. I would like to say it's only bullish, and I love, everyone says it's only up only. But I mean, I don't know. Anything is possible. The whole up only idea has got me burnt too many times in my life, and I'm too old to play that game. I've been through too many markets to play that game. I owe it to you not to play that game and to show you what is likely going to happen based off probability. And what can and can't happen based off years of me doing this. Like, we can't go to certain areas until we break above the 200 on the 1 minute. So that's why I'm on the 1 minute watching to see if we break above the 200. You see it? This all makes sense to me. Now, we have a gap in the VRVP. Can we get through the gap? Can we continue this move to the upside? Which way do we go for Bitcoin, right? It's all about if we can get above this resistance right now, the circled line here. 1, 2, you can see we've already tapped it twice. That's how this works. Previous bounce becomes resistance. That's how this whole system works. And we're kind of overbought on the stochastics too, which doesn't bone that great. Whenever this line is up here and you're starting to come down and you don't get above a previous high, it usually means you may go lower. So now the odds in our favor that this is going to go, and this could be shoulder, head, shoulder. This is an M. And the odds are more that we could go to the downside and take out this low here and continue further to the downside. You can flip it upside down too, and like, what does it look like? Kind of looks more like a descending triangle that could bounce. So it's interesting. It's got an ascending triangle vibe to it. But remember, they're 50-50 patterns. That's usually what you get when you get the reversal of price action. You get into these reversal patterns, see? To me, it still has a pretty substantial leg to the downside there. If it, 64, almost, it says we go lower. And look, that's a double bottom. So now I'm looking for liquidity below us here on BOOKMAP to kind of add to the idea that we're going to dump. And I mean, there's all the liquidity in the right here to 64. It's all right there. 63.2 and 64. And I mean, I got 64.2 and 63.5. So I know we got liquidity to the downside here. We couldn't, and look, previous resistance now. The only thing about Bitcoin is I wouldn't be surprised if it shot either way. Boom, boom. Like, it's been so volatile. And there's enough people kind of, going 100x on either end that it's iffy. The likelihood now is downtrend because you're higher on the Stokes and you couldn't get above this previous high. So it's more likely you're going to dump, you see? M patterns dump to the downside. You made an M too as well. That's a 68% chance of a break to the downside. The measured move would take you here. So if you just blindly look at the chart says to go to the downside for Bitcoin. We had a beautiful bullish div, but we couldn't get back above any type of, resistance. So it all depends. You're such a bear. Shout out to Master Friend. We love you. We appreciate you. And we care about you here on the channel. Bitcoin about to lose the 200 on the 45 minute. Please share the music playlist you are playing, please, sir. It's epidemic sound. At the same time, look, I mean, we did the divergence, we hit the 786. So like, see, I am right now at the whims of price action at the present moment in time. You break here, then I bear. You break here, then I bull. You know what I mean? Like, show me you can break the previous high. Show me you don't break the previous low, right? Make a trend happen for me. Like, go up, come down. I'll take the higher move on the trend. Come up, come down. I'll take the lower move on the trend. Show me what you want to do, Price. Right? As the teacher used to say. Sammy Price. Shout out to Night of Eternity. Thank you. Shout out to the 199. If being a bear means projecting capital, so be it. Shout out to Crypto King. All right. What we have now here is just the probability of an M, and M's break to the downside 68% of the time. So, like, that's what you have to go on. Look at that. Made a low. It shot. They're playing games here with price action. And this is chop too. Like, this is even, they're enticing. They want to see what they can entice. Don't be the one that get enticed into the wrong move. Play your game. For instance, if your divergence was here, that would probably, this double top might be a time, if you waited both of these moves, you know, if you're still in on the long there, you got guts. If you can hold this divergence buy right now, I mean, that's guts. I'll give it to you. I'm out here and there. I'd rather wait for the bounce if I can, which it may flush, meaning it goes so fast you don't get the bounce. But there, you know, that's the chance you got to take when you trade cautiously. So when you trade cautiously, you have to know. So when you trade aggressively, you have to know you could get banged out aggressively. When you trade cautiously, you know you might miss the cautious move. You may not get that move. Like, I want to wait for it to come and retest. It may not do that perfectly. Maybe 6 out of 10 times you get a retest. Maybe 8. Maybe 4 out of 10. You don't know, but you plan for that idea, right? So now you made the higher low. You did not make a lower low, right? So look, boom, boom. You held a higher low here. You must break a higher high. You must break it. You must get out of here. Come on now, right? Beautiful move here on the divergence though, right? On the 1 minute. This caught us on the low. See, if 2-3 years ago I'm trading, I'm just seeing red flags bugging out. I have no idea what's going on. If you're coming here to this channel, you're getting education, you're being inspired, I appreciate it. All right. One of the main reasons I'm not going hard right now in trading is I have boxes around my house. I am moving. One of the biggest, in 3 days, I'm having one of the biggest life changes in my life. I highly suggest in one of the biggest life changes of your life, you don't go and throw thousands of dollars into a leverage trade. I'm just saying, right? I personally took money out of my leverage account so I didn't do something stupid during this time because I know that I'm going under immense mental thought. I'm leaving a place I've lived for my entire 41 years old, the Northeast, even though in my hometown that I grew up in. And that's hard to admit as a trader, right? But even if I follow the rules and do all my thing, I may not have the focus and the discipline, right? Like I got to bring my, you know what I mean? And I'd rather give all that focus and discipline to you guys in the charts and to you guys in the trading group, right? So I'm not sitting there, you know what I mean? I'm still trading lightly. Like I had a light trade open today, you know, so I'm there. I'm in active moments, but I'm not this today, you know what I mean? And if I see an opportunity, like I'm still buying spot Bitcoin at the best I can, at the most times that I can, right? Great advice. I'm currently selling as well. Impossible to fully focus. Trying to get through hell stuff. You made my day a little brighter, man. Thank you. Amen. Next massive dump just starting. This could be the beginning of a bigger dump. I'm willing to buy into that idea. Yeah, I mean, so far it is. This is how a big dump would begin. You'd make this nasty little bear flag and continue down. For sure. Melbourne, Florida here. Welcome, Sammy. Matt is out. So just do spot trades at the moment if we want to take a chance. Yeah. SRQ is packed, but like I've gone there for vacation and find it not and still found it not. It's packed to people like you who've been, but like if I lived in New York City, it's not even close to packed. I agree though. You guys are getting, you know, it's like the Vineyard, man. Martha's Vineyard got packed too, bro. Like it's not the same. Like a bunch of people live there now all the time. Ever since COVID, it's been packed. I moved many times, Sam, and it's insane how refreshing it is. Embrace the change. I'm going to do that. Godspeed on your move, Sammy. Can you please take a look at SEILOR? Yeah, for sure. I'm calling local bottom at 12. What do you choose, Nitro or Negro? One love, man. FUD expert. And as I say that, let's go full port right now, all the way to the upside. You know what I mean? But that's a nice little higher low. Put in the higher high, man, and I'll buy this move back to the 200 SMA. You got above the point of control right now, too, which is key. So stay above this red line, and you can gap all the way up to the gap. Let's go, baby. Beautiful fair value gap right here, too. I mean, that one's huge, right? That's liquidity right there, even though it's in the zone. And then, you know, why can't you get all the way back up to this, the higher, you know? But you must put in a higher high here. You don't put in the higher high, none of this happens. You must break back above 65,274 to even begin to think you're bullish today. Or, you know what I mean? Can we see your leverage map? Thanks for everything. I don't know what that means. Yeah. I've opened a long and I entered at 65.2. Save me. Trade sideways, did a massive dump. Semar, you were going back to 26 February level for Bitcoin before the pump that brought us to the all-time high. What's your opinion on that? I don't have opinions on that, man. I just take it one step at a time. Yeah, one day at a time. I mean, you're overbought on the stochastics. They want to curve back down. This is the M pattern. You didn't make the higher. You got to make a higher. This, if you can't get above here, you're going further down. That looks like it's going to want to dump. Seven-minute doesn't look too dandy. 15-minute tried to do some sauce, but yeah, I watch the smaller time frames when we're in these sticky situations for sure. You can see, I hope you can see why. They give me the most insight as to what's likely going to happen. I knew that if we had lost that 200 on the 15 and the 1, that things were going to start to get pretty nasty for the Bulls. And that's exactly what we started to see happen. It's just, the thing is, we're just going to get too far away from the 21. At one point, we will have to snap. Like this, to me, the moving averages are too extended. It's almost like we have to snap back to some point of, you know, even if we just get back to this box here. Look, there's the fair value gap here, even on the 1 minute. It's so big. Tells you there's a lot of liquidity there for us, too. Much Lemmy, have you heard of Bozo Hybrid? It sounds interesting. No, thank you for telling me, though. I went to 18 different schools before I decided to work full-time in 8th grade. Military family. Wow. I had a dream of massive Bitcoin dump. I mean, massive. Wow. How can I get in touch with you? The Realist Miami Dolphins YouTube channel. You email my wife at cryptolifers@gmail.com. This is very similar to the past bull markets in crypto. 323, the chart that shows the leverage positions. Down prior to halving, sideways after the halving. So this looks like it's going to dump pretty hard right now to the downside. Look, you kind of have a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder now, even though these are almost matched, but that's a little higher with a wick. BOOKMAP wants more blood, right? BOOKMAP's got blood all the way down to 63.2. And you lost that weekly support and resistance at 65.5, which really puts the bots into effect. Puts a lot of people bearish. I'm telling you right now, you lose weekly support and resistance. I'm not the only one watching that. Right? Hong Kong spot crypto ETFs to start trading next week. Hong Kong listed spot Bitcoin and other Ether exchange traded funds aim to start trading by the end of April. 3 companies that provide the product said in separate statements on Wednesday. The products have also received official regulatory approval from the security. We knew that, but we hadn't heard that they were going to start trading yet. And there you have with the dump to the downside for Bitcoin. You lost the point of control you did not make, and now you made a lower low. So boom, more bloodshed, please, for Bitcoin to the downside. To the downside here. All right. Bang, bang, bang. 64,900 for Bitcoin. And do you go lower? And I got cash on the sidelines for more BTC. Let's go, baby. Bring it down to the target. Now, can you hold this higher low? It's like, I mean, this is ugly. You had to break this high. You had to break above these highs for me to even assume you would go higher. That's why I like getting too bullish too soon. Interesting. Some type of strange flag, but to me, it's a head and shoulder pattern too. Like that shoulder, head, right shoulder, dump city. Like measured move to the downside. You lost this point. You're going to the value area low. Very likely. If we were going to V-shape recovery, we would have continued up past that key level that I talked about. But look, I even mentioned it here, and then we hit it there. I'll tell you what's crazy. This low is still powerful because it was the divergence low. It was the liquidation low. There's a chance we can hold the liquidation low. You know what I mean? But like to hold through this is tough. So if you bought in here and you went through this whole time, you trusted you'd get to the two. Eventually you get too far away from the moving averages. Like we have to get back to this 200, even if it's for a small time. So it's not all bad until you take out this low. That's your only saving grace here right now, is that you're not taking out this divergence low, which was the liquidation low. Stochastics are low now, saying, hey, we'll get a bounce here. Just looks so weird, right? Even upside down, I'm like attempting to make sense of it. Almost like a descending triangle that fell out, broke back inside, wants to continue down. In this detective story here. Nobody knows where Bitcoin's going for sure, but you know, there you go. Yeah, man, flood that thing. That's Bear City, man. Look at the volatility in the 1 minute that they're doing. Like, this is like vicious trading. Vicious. You just got to trust that. If you trust the moving averages, you're in the money since the loss of the 1 minute 200, and you're just taking this down. Just like we traded up. I see more downside coming. Once you take out this low, it'll flood because that's just brah. Because that's the only thing holding a bot or even anyone in there saying we may, you know. Someone tried to say Bitcoin will hit a $17 trillion market cap. That's so crazy. $17 trillion. I mean, if you think about now, it can get to 2 trillion. Once you get to 2 trillion, 10 trillion makes sense. All right. Let's talk about Forta. I put out Forta to the trading group about, I don't know, let's say 4 days ago, 3 days ago, something like that. It was on Coinbase. Forta getting a nice pump to the upside. Look at that thing mooning. And I put it out here down at around 21 cents. This thing is up now 48% gains for Forta. So shout out to anyone that jumped into the trading group and jumped into Forta. Nice little flag to the upside there for Forta. Bang, bang, bang. 48%. One of the only things like mooning today. Pretty hot to the upside. So look, it's bearishly retested now, and more downsides coming for Bitcoin now. Almost like 90% that you're going to see more downside, in my humble opinion. Like, I'm just like almost sure of it at this point. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance, but it looks pretty obvious to me we're going to go down to 64.2 at this point, and we're going to do it pretty fast. Like, slap of a finger, magician, boom! Like, you know what I mean? Come on, baby. And now you've broken the low on, yeah, you've already broken the low. Someone say you're trying to double bottom here, but no way. That's Bear City, my friends. And I don't care what channel you're watching. They're not going to be able to lock it in. Let's see this move further down to 64,220 for Bitcoin. Super chats, GBT USD, SEILOR. SEILOR, really? Nah, I can't do that. Or maybe SEILOR, fine. I thought that was Sailor, yeah. Florida was also, bam. They probably sell off until the weekend. Gala games to the moon. And it's funny, last night was a full moon. And Bitcoin dumped on the full moon, right? Weird. Ebb and flows are part of cosmic geometry and everything. Can't understand panic when it does everything we plan for a majority of the time for profits with any move. Double bottom versus Bear City. It's a chance you double bottomed here. Look at this. This is it. Like, this is your last chance. 64.8. 64,800, which is a strong actual level. The 800s are key. Could 64,800 hold here on a double bottom for Bitcoin? I mean, it's a nasty looking double bottom. Not even a good looking one. Could be trying to bearish retest the channel here. Bounce again on the 8-hour 2 NMA. Yeah, let's take a look at where that is again. So now it's hitting it again. Now see, if you close below this, that's when Sammy's going to turn more bear. Like, I'll turn bear there. Sammy, can you take a look at a Profi, please? Yes, we talked about Profi. I have it right here in the chart. That's all. I was just looking at this higher low. As long as it stayed above the 200 in the 4-hour. If it does that and it consolidates, I think Profi could do some damage. It's really not reacting much to Bitcoin's dump too as well. So I like what I'm seeing for Profi. Yeah. So now a bearish retest of the bottom trend line now. Likely, you know, unless you can get back inside. Attempting to double bottom off 64,800. This is it here for Bitcoin. Do we go lower all the way to 64,220? Or do we catch this double bottom and do we hold the key level? Only time will tell. Same with Boom. Pumps into the full moon. Dumps 25 to 70 after then. Pumps for 14. Happens almost every time. I always make dough playing the moons. Michael pumps into the full moon. Dumps 25 to 72 hours after, then pumps for 14 days. Sammy transforming into a bear in 3, 2, 1. And he's still not a bear. And he's still not a bear. But he's almost a bear now. Sammy is about to become a bear. It's like a werewolf. Sammy becomes a bear at 12 at night. Sammy goes back to being a bull at 1 in the morning, you know. Shout out to the super chats here. Thank you for jumping on in. Hey, Lois, I think I'm gonna go to bed. Hey, Chris, go to your room before my. Hey, everybody, my name's Peter Griffin. People are waiting for FOMO next week. FOMC meeting. Yeah, thank you for everything, Lifer. You've taught me so much. Night of Eternity. Thank you. Godspeed on your move to Florida. 777. Skip Factor. Master Friend. Let's take a look at GBT USD daily time frame. We'll take a look at that. Thank you. I missed that. I'm so sorry. Might have been able to give some more insight. Can we see leverage map? Thank you. Yep. Much love, Sammy. You've heard of Bozo Hybrid? No. Can you please look at Cardano? Is 4 cents like is 40 cents likely? I mean, anything's likely if Bitcoin takes a beat down. If this 1 minute can't double bottom nicely, but it looks like you're gonna oof. Now it's trying to double bottom here. Look, 5-second double bottom on the double bottom. Twice now on the 5-second. Thing is likely dumping so hard right now. Look at bearish retest going down. I'm so sorry. Do you guys get upset when I get bearish? Does it hurt? Does it hurt your feelings when I get bearish? No, I'm just wondering. Does it get you angry? Do you get hangry? Does it make you want to eat more food when I get bearish? Who eats more food on the bearish days? I think it's a 10x pattern double bottom. No, not at all. You're awesome. Lifer the dumps equals short gains, baby. You guys are awesome. It hurts bad. You guys are funny, man. I love when the market gets destroyed. Damp it. Should never be happy or mad. Should just be printing money either direction. After hours investing, my man. Doesn't matter either way. No hurting my feelings. I love it, baby. Amen. I literally put $300 on ADX leverage at 66.9. I hope to the downside. A pro traders never bearish or bullish, yet we just trade what we see up or down. Wow. I've made you guys amazing. Or you guys made yourself amazing. We've gotten to a good place in our hearts and minds when it comes to trading. So now you got a falling wedge though. Now you got a bit of a falling wedge here. You got a wedge here. A bit of a falling wedge, mate. Could you get a bit of a move to the upside? Could I trouble you for a move to the upside there, mate? Could I? So, somewhat of a double bottom beginning to form. I mean, now you've had 5 minutes to hang and can't lose the level. Still not impressed, right? Still could be just a very hardly slanted descending triangle over here. This channel should be called Dissecting Bitcoin, right? Welcome to Dissecting Bitcoin. Here we are again today, dissecting Bitcoin on the 1 minute chart. We occasionally hit the 1 second, the 5 second, and the 30 second when we need to really dissect it all the way to the tiny, minuscule, microscopic parts for Bitcoin. We appreciate you. I'm your host, Sam Price. Let's get on a scalpel and let's begin to dissect Bitcoin like a frog in a laboratory. Let's do it. My friend joined your trading group. And he's when you're ready to sell your house, probably not the moment to go in, right? Why would hurt? We make money in Bull Bear, baby. Showing the therapist where Sammy hurt me, right? Then I'm going to call you Dr. Sammy. Teasing New York session lows. I mean, it is kind of now a falling wedge. Falling wedges can break out 68% of the time. So you have a probability beginning to form that wasn't there before. Just not a fan. So now look, bounce. So now you got to break above this level to remain bullish. 64.9, 64.950. Otherwise, you're going down. So if you don't get a candle to close in the 1 minute, the 15 minute to 7 above 64.950. Is that right? Yeah, you're going to have some problems. Bitcoin falling live. Miners are selling. Bitcoin will drop between $40,000 and $50,000. Yikes. Let's spread them. Oh, man. I can't believe you said that. Don't say that. What's your price prediction end of 2024? I don't do that yet. I would have to really sit and look at that. And that would take me some time. And honestly, who knows? I like to take it one step at a time. Like right now, because we can't get above this level, I see more downside. See, this is a descending triangle. You see it? And these things like to dump and dump hard. I'll pull away the falling wedge so you see what I mean. But that looks like a descending triangle about to take a topple down. There you go. And they're fast. Come on, baby. Come on. They just keep like faking it though. Come on, sweetheart. You know you want to come down. Look at that. Look at it. Just bouncing. This is interesting what they're doing here. Someone's watching my stream like, no, we're not going to let that happen. They're really trying to make a bottom here at 64.8. Trying to cement this. This is crazy. This is some insane price action if I've ever seen it. What about you guys? You ever seen something like this? This is weird. This is some weird stuff going on. If you don't see a big fall here, you're in the wrong business and mindset. It's just following the overall market. Let's take a look at the DXY and see what's happening on the DXY. So what's cool is the DXY fell right out of this pattern to the downside that we had. Let's take a look. I said I'd like to see it break down, and if it goes sideways, there's a chance we go up. But look, it barely retested and it drops to the downside. Perfect, right? It's kind of weird. It looks like Bitcoin now with the double top. Like, it's just, everything's a mess. They got these markets in turmoil, man. And I believe it has something to do with BRICS. And the Russians are having some meeting, I think today or tomorrow. Let's take a look at our CME watch tool. Our next meeting's in 7 days, right? And there's no way we're going to be getting a rate hike. It says 98% chance that the rates stay exactly current. So to me, that's a nothing burger. And it's closer to a rate cut than a rate hike. I think that should be bullish for the market personally. But it's pretty much baked in. But that meeting is May 1st, man. Wow, the day of my dad, the day my dad passed last year. Look at Biddy just holding the zone here. This is nuts. If you're a leverage trader, you're on either end of this. You're even taking 10 minutes to find out whether you're going to win or lose a 100x trade. That's crazy. So far, we've solidified a bit of a double bottom here for Bitcoin. We may have witnessed the double bottom on the 1 minute. No matter how hard they wanted to take it down, they could not for BTC. And look, 64,000. Anything below 65K is a steal to me. Whether it's 50K, 58K, 64K, to me, that's all beautiful. Because, people like to buy those low prices. Wow, look at that thing. It came down, looked like we're going to get a nasty dump. And again, we're not out of the water yet till we break back above what? 65.2. You see this area? 65,250 for Bitcoin. So now I want to see if Bitcoin can dig its way out of this hole, which it looks like it may. That's a double bottom. But I don't know. I have no idea. I don't claim to know where Bitcoin's going to go at all. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. I have no clue what Bitcoin's going to do. Cup and handy on the 1 minute. You want, I don't know. Did make some type of cup. Could you make a handle, right? Well, we know the descending triangle's done. And the falling wedge, what I do is just get rid of these for now, but the falling wedge, you could say played out. 68% chance we finally got some type of pattern that made more sense than nothing, And the descending triangle was high, but still was there, in my humble opinion. But 32% chance it wouldn't break. This price action is absolutely insane. I'm telling you right now. I'm not going to look at you and say, yeah, this is normal. I mean, I guess it isn't. I mean, everything is normal technically because this is the world we live in. And then I always just back out of this when if I'm too small, you know what I mean? I always want to back out. Right now, we just got a double bottom on our hands. But I want to see if I'm missing anything or can I see anything else that I should be looking at? I'm making some sense of this, just trying to like, not trying, but I am figuring out what I can make sense of this. You know, this is just insanity. Right now we got a bit of a double bottom. But I mean, it could go either way right now. It's more bearish. I'm more bearish than bullish right now. Overall is like a big bear flag, right? 63.5 makes sense to me. But I'm open-minded to see this little symmetrical triangle possibly make a move, you know what I mean? So take smaller time frames to little time frames. If you break back above 65.2, I'll start to kind of feel more bullish. Until then, it's just more likely we go to 63.6. All right. And then we got that 8-hour, which is still toying with the 200 there. So you can watch that on different time frames. There's the breakdown. Normally these do break down too, symmetrical triangles. That technically could be the cup and handle, see? But this is sketchy business, I'm telling you right now. Man, it's a great day here in Boston. To me, we just broke it down out of the rising wedge in the 1 hour. 50% retracement, target 63.4. Sounds reasonable. Yeah. Just like we fell down the low, come to low, we can come up. Like that, all you need is a higher low. You just got to break. Now you got to break this point of control. Like you caught a higher low here, that's good enough. You can see how this is starting to play out, this little target here. This little pattern. Little symmetrical triangle beginning to build. There's a Sammy cup and handy too, though. Like cup with the handle. Insanity. Complete insanity. Like, if you told me this is what I was going to be doing today, I would tell you no way. Thought we just have a nice sideways. Can't we just have a nice sideways day? Bouncing is coming. Grayscale manipulation again. 4-hour candle looks red, long and thick. Looks like a descending triangle. Looks bearish. Super chats, GP, USD. Let's take a look at the GPD. I mean, see that's your. There it is again, right? When you hit that 786, oh man. You have a higher low now. You have to put in a higher high. It's all about trend. See, this is the same thing if you're on the weekly and you put in a higher high, then you can put in a higher low. If you abide by the rules of trend analysis, then you have to abide by them on the 1 minute as well as on the weekly. There's no difference. So like you can't, now are we going to make a, so now you're already waiting for either a double top or a higher low, right? Or a lower low. The lower high is just more down, shoulder, head, more, look at that. Shoulder, head, right shoulder to the downside, right? They keep doing this like brought back. Pretty weird price action, to be honest. Like, just let it drop finally. There she goes. Remember, I'm more bearish because we can't get back above the point of control. And I'm more bearish unless we get back above 65,250. I can say I don't know what's going to happen, but I can also tell you the probability is bear based off this and that. That looks like a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder now. Shoulder, like head, right shoulder. Basically about to hit the mentioned move. Still not taking out the low. Right? But once it does that, I mean, I don't see how it doesn't fall. Meme coins are going to explode this bull run. The key is not to get rugged on Solana. Check out Kendu on ETH with a contract renounced. No team, no wallets, no paid KOLs. Alpha with Satoshi. I've learned so much from your live streams. I'm not a crypto day trader. However, I DCA to Bitcoin. I trade options. Your TAs helped me a lot. I like to trade coin. Keep up the great work. God bless you, man. Thank you. It's making a falling wedge, which could break down parabolically. Yeah, like a rising wedge breaks up parabolically. I even consider these just bear flags. It's just a bear flag to me, you know. Follow me on Twitter. I'd greatly appreciate it. At CryptoLifer33. Have all the fun, different things that I talk about. Meditate, breathe, ice bath. Son, this guy's funny, man. Shout out to Arcane Bear, man. BNB burns 1.17 27th annual burn. Oh, yeah, BNB. I keep forgetting that Binance burns the BNB token. People forget about that. I think it's something that we all miss and that I have to remind myself. So Binance, a leading cryptocurrency exchange, has completed its 27th quarterly BNB token burn, eliminating 1.9 million BNB. That's a lot, right? Worth approximately 1.7 billion. This strategic move is part of Binance's commitment to reducing the total supply of BNB tokens to 100 million. With the current supply standing around 147 million, the quarterly burn events aim to increase the scarcity and value of BNB. I forgot that BNB continues to get burned, man. I really think, you know, I've always liked BNB as a long-term investment. I got into BNB when it was $1 when it first came out. Unbelievable. And they want to put CZ in prison for 18 months. It's for 36. 18 months is what they suggest, but they want to double it down. His lawyers say no. Let's pray for him and hope he doesn't. Whatever happens is what happens. But yeah, they make you they make you question everything, right? But funny. Shout out to Master Friend. Anyway, follow me on Twitter at CryptoLifer33. I'd greatly appreciate it. There's the droppy to the downside, right? Failed double bottom now is definitely contention for more downside. By the way, thank you, Sam. Because of you, I'll learn to analyze how the chart works and keep up the good vibes. Anytime, man. Anyone hear about... No. ROO and Welsh have made a liquidity pair on STX. First of its kind innovation in the ecosystem. Oh, that's pretty cool. Bitcoin failing live. Miners are selling. Bitcoin will drop. Oh, my gosh. Let's take a look at GPD at USD. So, dollar getting a pump to the upside, but it's not the strongest thing in the world. And the daily's oversold, overbought. Still making a bit of a bull flag, though, which could actually flip. So the DXY in a bit of a bull flag. I gotta hand that. And it may pump. I mean, that's a little bit of a bull flag there for the DXY. Is it not? That's a bullish sign on the daily that this thing may want to break out and get a nice pump. Now it can pump with Bitcoin, but in generally speaking, that would look like a dump for BTC. 3-day chart's very overbought, so we want to see that we never breach this high, even if we do get a pump on the daily. 107.25, you don't want to get back above. You want to see this 3-day continue to dump down. However, look, the 21 crossing the 50 is a pretty bullish sign. Whenever a shorter day moving average crosses a longer day moving average, it's a bullish sign. Kendu followed by Satoshi, crazy community working chads, billions and beyond. Thank you for telling us about Kendu. We'll research it on our own time, and you can show it on another live stream when we're done. God bless you. Shout out to Decrypted.tax. We appreciate you. We thank you so much for your constant sponsorship of the channel. 25% off the standard pricing, or jump on and get a free consultation today at decrypted.tax. I Trust Capital also buy, sell crypto, gold and silver with your IRA. I like I Trust Capital. That's why we have them on the part of that screen over there where you can hit the QR code. You can put money in there 365 days a year and invest 24 hours a day. The ETF doesn't allow you to do that. So it's people that are buying the ETF for like 50 to 60 years or 20 years, right, of retirement. I believe that I Trust Capital is likely a better buy of just actually buying Bitcoin. They also custody it, and amazing. And when you're done, you can get the Bitcoin sent to a hardware wallet, which you can't do almost anywhere else. So I Trust Capital has so many advantages. Jump in today. Find out more about I Trust Capital. All right? Check them out. If you're willing to get ready for retirement and cryptocurrency is your thing, I Trust Capital may just be the answer. So look for the bearish retest of the double bottom, or do they flush us right back to the upside? Anything is possible here for Bitcoin. Now what you want to do is you want to zoom out. You want to go like a BTC, USD. It doesn't really matter what chart you're on. BTC, USD, Bybit. Anyone that's a substantial trading, And you can see that's a 3-day bearish, tweezer top. We don't want to see that close that way. We still have 2 days and 9 hours. So, but for now, no good sign. And a bearish engulfing candle like on the daily. These two eat that candle together, and it's just not a great sign. You lost the point of control too as well. The 8-hour about to lose its 200 MA, which we did such a good job for the last day and a half getting back above to just, look, all these gains took all this time, and then just in one 8-hour period, we can eat through about 36 hours, 32 hours of gains. And that's what happens when Bitcoin gets, and then the stochastics have to reset as well for Bitcoin. And then market structure-wise, you could even say, okay, chubby triangle. And symmetrical triangles like to break to the downside. They don't like to break up. People say they could go either way, but most of the time, these things are going to dump on you to the downside. And you can already start to see the measured move at 53,009. And so it just makes sense now. You even have a measured move down there. And you can even look at this as it's a bit of a bear flag on the bigger time frame that wants to break further down as well. And then we can extend this longer. Extend that longer and say, well, we're probably likely going to come down to the bottom of the trend here. I'd even like to take that out and add this as the trend line. You can see we come right back down, right? And so then I would say, well, is there a 1-hour bullish div? Is there any type of bullish div on the 15, on the 7? Now, the 1 hour didn't lose the 200. That also is if we can keep that, that's a bullish sign too. There's a chance we could break back up inside. We could trap the bears right here. Rip back to the upside. This could be a shoulder, head, right shoulder. We could continue on our way. I'm open-minded. That's why we're going to do this every day, one step at a time, one moment at a time, and always be open-minded that maybe the first thing I said isn't completely right. Okay? So this is what I was looking for now is a bullish div on the 15 or the 7. Just a bigger time frame than the 1 minute. Anything a little more substantial. Right now we do see a little bit of bullish div on the 15 as the 15 minute does swing up and this does swing down. And that's enough to possibly create somewhat of a bear trap, right? Just enough. Again, we have pretty strong bullish div here now on the 7 minute time frame as well. Chance that this could be the move back to the upside. That's some really strong bullish divergence. It's really clean. It's what we're looking for. That's liquidations. So here's the deal. We get back above 65 in the same level there, 65, 250, right? Then we could begin a party back to the upside. But to me, that's the level that I would like to see us get back above. And then I zoom back in and show you what we're seeing. Look, we barely retested the double bottom as suggested, which looks like more downside could be coming. So I'm watching the 1 minute for more downside because the 1 minute gives you that idea. All right. Why are you so fixated for the upside and constantly looking? I'm not looking for the bottom. I'm not. Because I'm showing you what happens every day in the market. Yeah. I'm not trying to do anything. Yeah. You think I am because you don't watch the market as much as I have. I'm not trying to be rude. And it may sound rude. It may be factual. I don't know. right? GPUSD, SEILOR, and AIDA. And honestly, I have a bullish bias. I'm more bullishly biased. You should know your bias. Like, I am more bullishly biased than bearishly biased. That's just the fact. I know that. Everybody, at the end of the day, even if you're 61, even if you're 51.49, whatever it is, there has to be a little more bullish. Some people like to short the market. They make their money shorting. Although I've made most of my money watching emerging technologies explode, so I like a bullish move. Let's be honest. So, yeah. All right. Everyone in here, read the book Trading in the Zone. If you're trading, yeah, you got to read Trading in the Zone by Michael Douglas. You have to. Michael Douglas by Mark Douglas. Sam, do you trust the high macro time frames? If so, the 6-month time frame on the BLX looks really bullish. I do. Yeah. How's HBAR looking, sir? What's the trend in the smaller time frames? Well, we went over that earlier, I believe. Nice little bullish div here on the 7. Should give you a bounce back to the upside here. Give you at least a little bit back to resistance here, and then see what you can do once we hit 64.9. But that's a really strong bullish div on the 7-minute. Okay, shout out to Crypto Bellico. Shout out to everyone in the house. We appreciate you so much for jumping on in. And people don't like the bear as much as they like the bull, right? Everyone wants to show up. The market's ripping. We're getting everybody watching. Look at Florida continuing to do some damage here. Up 53% now. And I put this out to the trading group when Florida was just sitting in a little flag, So I don't own any alt layer. No, I don't. Thank you. He said the 4-hour is in a bullish engulfing candle on the 4-day chart. Negative. I mean, you had one. Let's see what happens with the next one, though. So that 7-minute looks like it could move. The smaller time frames need to respond, right? Sammy coming handy on the DXY 5-minute. Bitcoin back to 59K would be lovely for buying. 52K would be even better. It could. Everybody, and we have awesome links here if you want to jump on into our weekly newsletter, which I forgot to say something about. And if you sign up, it would be awesome. Put in your email address and opt in to our weekly newsletter. Hit that link. If you go to the website and just scroll up and down a couple times, or one, you'll get an opt-in message to jump in here to our weekly newsletter. We give you 2 weekly newsletters a week. It should say newsletters. Well, we hit you with a lot of awesome information. All you got to do is be awesome and meet us halfway by putting your email address and hitting consent to our next, because we'll give you and we never really give you anything but the newsletters, but once a year we do a Cyber Monday sale, and we give you more access to that sale and another discount like we did last year. We'll probably do it again if you sign up to the weekly newsletter. So if you want to stay with us long term, or you just want to stay with us and then next thing you know, you've been with us for a year and November comes around, this newsletter will offer something interesting to those people that are with us, right? There might be even some like Florida meetups and stuff like that too, and some other interesting things if you're in the local area, just stuff like that. So we're gonna, I'm not promising that stuff. I just wanna, I plan on bringing in anyone who does more for the channel, does more to support me, into all different kind of events and things like that. That's my hope and dream, right? So double bottom resistance here. Can't get back above. This is ugly for the bulls. Good for the bears. If you're a bear, or if you got in when we lost to 200, you're in the money right now, beautifully. So, and just use a demo account. Learn how to flip flop both ways. Everything will be okay. You'll make it. It'll make sense. All right. Don't consume yourself with too much. If your life is out of control, take it one step at a time. All right. One moment at a time. One day at a time. I look at my life. I'm running a channel. I got a baby coming. I'm moving. I got to take it one moment at a time, one day at a time, as not to get overwhelmed, right? And that's fine. That's fine. So, everybody, I love you. I appreciate you. And I thank you so much for being here. 11:55 p.m. Let me take a look. I do see more downside. Look, we're now bearishly retesting the double bottom. Can't call that a double bottom no more. The only saving grace now is watching that 7-minute. But look, even the stochastics are high now, and they kind of want to dump on you. So I see more downside for Bitcoin unless you got back above 65, 260. in this local area. All right. Willy Woo recently initiated a discourse within the cryptocurrency community concerning the feasibility of Bitcoin surpassing gold's market cap of $17 trillion. In a series of insightful remarks, the expert delved into the nuanced dynamics of the stock-to-flow ratio, inflationary trajectory of Bitcoin, and the evolving landscape of institutional adoption. Central to Wu's thesis is the stock-to-flow model, a metric that gauges an asset's scarcity by comparing its existing supply to its annual production. With Bitcoin's inflation rate now lower than that of gold, the expert posits that the cryptocurrency stands poised to challenge the dominance of the precious metal in the realm of store of value assets. However, Wu tempered expectations by suggesting a potential lag of 5 to 10 years before Bitcoin's market capitalization aligns with the stock-to-flow valuation. He attributed this delay to various factors, including the gradual integration of Bitcoin into institutional portfolios and the development of regulatory framework. Despite this cautious prognosis, Wu underscored the potential for retail investors capable of self-custody their Bitcoin holding to experience the benefit of the stock-to-flow model sooner. He hinted a divergence between institutional and retail adoption timelines, suggesting that the latter may embrace Bitcoin's value proposition more rapidly. There's a possibility for Bitcoin's market cap to reach $17 trillion, and questions linger about the potential implications. I mean, that's neither here nor there, right? It's kind of fun to think about. But I take, again, one step at a time. More downside for Bitcoin, come on, to 64.2, and then possibly to 63,600, my next key level. If you watch the channel, you were able to kind of watch this dump in real time and then see kind of how it played games sideways and how we stayed true to kind of the technical analysis and continue to kind of show you what's happening in the market on a daily basis. Stay tuned for more in the trading group as we're going to go over all sorts of different ideas, things that I'm looking at, and update you for Bitcoin throughout the day. All right. A bounce right here off this key level at 64.82. We must get back above that level. 7-minute divergence may not play out here. I'd be watching the 1 minute more than any other time frame. It's giving us the sauce, and it's been doing it all day. Man, let's take a look at the chat one more time. Super chats, Great Pound, SEILOR, and ADA. Let's take a look at GPD USD. So again, I would always just get rid of the moving averages. Look at this on the weekly and take a look at what's happening. It's very, and now you have a low, you have a high, you have a higher low, you have an underscore low, right? Didn't get there. But it still prescribed you this higher low, which is interesting. So you got this kind of tight channel. It looks a lot like Tesla stalking away. Almost an Adam and Eve double top too. Look how you made the shoulder, head, right shoulder out of that move. A little bit of resistance, which was support right there. Or bouncing right there. Interesting. Okay, so the weekly is not overbought, right? You're not jumping into the weekly when this thing is at the highest it's ever been. It's had a few weeks of sell-off, pressure, the British pound versus the dollar. Let's take a look at our 3-day chart now. Look at our moving averages. Now, it's about to break back above its 200 on the... If it gets above the 200 on the 3-day, at least for now, it could be a nice little pump back to the top of the channel. And you could say it's in one of these like wedges that faked out, broke back inside again, and we've seen that many times. I swear they began to break the patterns now that everyone trades patterns. They've been doing different things. I'm picking up on it. Look, that was a backwards Adam and Eve. I just want to show you how they play out. Like, there's your Adam, there's your Eve. It's still dumped, you know. Anyway, so can we break back above the 200 on the 3-day chart? That's something you want to see. You close a candle above that. That's going to be bullish for a move up to the top. And you got a gap in the VRVP. So that's bullish to me as long as you get back above this yellow line. All right. I'm not done yet. Hold on. We're going to look at the daily. So the daily's ready to rock, too. I mean, the daily looks absolutely beautiful. Falling wedge with oversold stochastics about to point to the upside. RSI also came to a low point with the MACD turning. You got this trend line holding, too, as well. And you bounced off previous resistance, bounce. So bounce. So look, resistance broke up, bounce, kind of resistance, bounce, resistance, and here you are bouncing again off 123, 383. So, that looks bullish. 4 hour doesn't look amazing, but as long as it stays above the 21. So I'd watch the 4 hour and the 21 make a flag. If that flag continues and stays above the 21, or it just intermingles with it, likely that's going to break up and your daily is going to make a move. And even your 1 hour looks pretty good to me. And it's just breaking above its 200. So the 1 hour looks interesting. But I'm getting some mixed signals. I'd be more apt to watch that 4 hour. All right, but the 1 hour, it looks like even today you're going to get at least a move back to the top of the channel. Just doesn't look like it's going to be an amazing move. That's all. Hard to catch the 1 hour. It's in some chop. But it is looking like more of a move up for the British pound. SEILOR on Bybit is been beat to the ground. This is where Fibonacci comes into play and conviction. If you don't have either of those, then you shouldn't be touching a coin that's banged to the ground, right? So this thing's dumped all the way to the 786, almost the 886. So like if you believe in this coin and you think SEI is going to do big numbers and SEILOR is going to follow that ecosystem, right, then you have no choice but to think, okay, I got to start buying SEILOR now as it makes this long, rounded bottom. It could also be the end of its reign. Who knows? It's a meme, right? I'd be careful. So you have conviction and you're buying it now, or you don't care about the coin, but it is an undervalued area. And so whether you buy it or not, it's completely up to you. The TA is saying this is the lowest price it should be. All right. Cardano, man, ripped all the way from 23, got to 78, looked like 80, looked like we were actually going to get somewhere. Amazing. And I love Cardano. I don't mean to, but just, as a trader for Cardano. But, it looks like there's just some more downside. However, how much more downside? The alts don't look like they could take much more selling without being just completely, bashed all the way to the bottom again. So it's like, and usually you don't go lower than these 786, 706, golden pocket retracements. So I just, I would be buying a little more Cardano here at these key levels, personally, if I was into Cardano. I have conviction and I own a lot of Cardano. So to me, it's easier to see. I buy Cardano more than SEILOR. And you look at me like, that's crazy. But that's a bit of a cup and handle, too, on Cardano. It's all about just believing in your Fibonacci's at these key levels. It's really what it is, man. All right. Seven-minute bullish divergence is playing out nicely to the upside here for Bitcoin. Look at that. Nice bullish div on the 7-minute now. Look at that. Unbelievable. Now they're going to go after the shorts. Anyone who's going too hard on leverage, they're taking you out. If you're hurting, hit the gym. Get that good pain to release the bad. Amen. Would you be buying HBAR? Lakochi Ree. Whiff, can you check? Cool, shorted. You're funny. Bitcoin back inside the double bottom. It double bottomed again here. Look at 64.5 for Bitcoin. And I believe everything below 65K is a absolute gobble up for Bitcoin. It really is. It really, really is. So, crazy volatility for BTC today. And really what it was zooming back out and watching the 7-minute. So now it's all great. We got to get above 65,250 to remain bullish for Bitcoin. All right. Yeah, Bitcoin bounced off the 200 on the 1 hour and the 200 on the 8 hour. It was almost in the same place both times. The 8 hour actually lost it, but regained it. Doesn't want to lose it too bad. I do not want to see a candle close below it. We closed this one below, but we're trying to gain it back right away. If this 8 hour candle is below the 200, I'm going to be really bearish. But if not, we're just making a higher low for some bigger moves here to the upside. Just a shakeout for Bitcoin's next big move. All right, so that's why you see I've been buying coins slowly but surely. I've been adding to my Bitcoin bags. I've been doing what I got to do for Bitcoin on a daily basis, right? It's not all about making a trade immediately. It's not all about leverage trading your face off. For me, it's about building wealth over long periods of time. All right? That's the key. Everybody, I love you. I thank you so much for being here. I got to take my wife to the doctor in about an hour. So I got to, make sure she's okay, make sure she's fed and well as well. I love you all. I appreciate you. And I thank you so much for being here on a beautiful live stream. It's a tough time right now. A lot of people don't have the conviction in the market. The market is pushing people out. They're kind of like, only the strong will survive, right? Hi, my love. Only the strong will survive, everybody. We must maintain no matter what. This is key, what we're watching right here in the 8 hour. I'll keep my Bitcoin entire trading group updated into what's happening. I'll keep you guys updated every single day. I love you. I appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow for another beautiful live stream. May God bless you all. Thank you so much for spending your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Gratitude is the attitude. This beautiful daughter that I have right now, I'm going to go hug and kiss her and realize she's my whole world, man, and she is everything. So I show up every single day for my family, so they want for nothing. You do the same, and you'll have a great life. I love you all. May God bless you and have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for your viewership, your super chats, and your constant support and love. I appreciate it more than you would ever know. I'll see you tomorrow.